Hey strong people, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com, and today I'm going to break down everything that happened at the Arnold Europe, one of the qualifiers for the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. And the lighting's a little off, but I think I did this perfectly to replicate the dark corner that the Arnold, that the strongmen were given at the Arnold Europe in Barcelona. Basically, I'm just filming this at a different time of day, and it is what it's going to be. First off, I want to thank everyone that has pledged to support me on Patreon. You can do the same at patreon.com/startingstrongman. And if I ever remember, I might say your name in a future video. How great would that be? And really appreciate that support. It helps me out. I put up videos and stuff like that a little early when I can. On to the contest. There's 5 events. There was a log clean and press, which was 400 pounds, which is 180 kilos for reps, clean each. A 1,000-pound yoke walk, a farmer's carry, I think it was 375 a hand, a 805-pound deadlift, and an arm over arm sled drag. Some things I want to note. If you're still watching this and you hate it, you have a couple options. You can subscribe to the Strong Talk podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and that's the audio version of this. And you can go to startingstrongman.com where I type words that you can read. So you have so many options. Or you can watch Martine Lisi's video log, which shows the whole contest and had all the behind the scenes things and pretty much everything I'm basing this video on. And he has 100,000 subscribers, and I can't get to 10 to save my life, so you're probably already watching that anyways. So, a couple of things I want to note. The log was cool. It's the first event. It's looks like it's like stainless steel, but it's like a polished something made by Rogue. It has these metal braids on the end. It was used in an Arnold Amateur World Championship a couple years back. Might have been 2015. I know Rob Kearney then set the amateur world record on the log with that, and I interviewed him on a Strong Talk podcast about it back when I did the Strong Talk with Oberst, our only guest we ever had. Amazing. It was weird. It was kind of like in a very dark corner. So I'm giving you, it kind of looked like this if you haven't seen the videos. And there was not enough space for the yoke, so they made the course shorter. And from what I've gathered talking to some of the athletes, the Arnolds, there's the various Arnolds, which is how you qualify for World Strong, don't say that, for the Arnold Strongman Classic, have improved. The Arnold Australia is great. Santa Monica last year was amazing. Hopefully we have that again. I think that we will. But the Arnold Europe is kind of a bad setup. Like they have the strongman all the way in the corner. There's no seating around it. There's just standing room. It's more people are there. What I heard is from people that were there is it was like the busiest area. There's more people watching the strongman than ever. And all of these various expos need to get with the time. They all at the very least need stadium seating, which will fill up, but at least it's something. It's just, it looks like an amateur show. And every single one of these Arnolds, like this lineup was so big. This is pretty much every finalist at World's Strongest Man except Thor and, Gymnasia and the Stoltmans and Bishop. So I guess not everyone, but you have pretty much you have 18 or so top level competitors just in a concrete floor. There's no separation for the warm-ups. In the background of the videos, you just see them all getting ready in between events. They're walking around, and it should be better. Every one of these could be a stadium show if they were promoted right and sold, and be a better fan experience. Everything is improving, but so much more needs to be done. I think Strongman has just grown so much in the past, especially year, that where people wouldn't even know what's going on, and you could just shove it in that expo corner. Now it's to the point where all the promoters need to I wouldn't say step up. They need to capitalize on what they've been presented. And all of their hard work building up the sport and everything, hopefully they can get more back out of it, because the demand is huge right now to watch high-level strongman. And yeah, they definitely could do a better job. And speaking of that, on Reddit, on r/Strongman, my favorite subreddit, great people over there, people are complaining that there wasn't a live stream. Arnold Schwarzenegger himself replied, saying he had no idea, and he sent someone there with a phone to live stream the whole thing on his Facebook account. And he said from now on, every single Arnold Strongman will have a proper live stream. So that's huge. That's some of the biggest news to hit Strongman all year. That's big. So getting to, I'm not going to go through every single competitor. I did that in my preview show. I'm just going to go over the highlights because this video will be even longer. Going into the first event, it was a log clean and press, a 400-pound, 180-kilo log for reps. Like I said, it was used at it was made by Rogue Fitness, pretty good looking log. Again, there's just 2 crash mats, barely a pad, there needs to be the long crash mats for the people. All of these other qualifiers need to step up and improve. Mateusz Kieliszkowski just absolutely obliterated it, getting 5 reps for the event win and 18 big points. Behind him was Mikhail Sholokhov from Russia with 4 reps, and Maxime from Canada, great log presser, with 4 as well for second. Then there's a whole bunch of people with 3. Aaron Page from the UK, very strong log presser. Ronald Hanla, Brian Shaw. Other good performances, Jimmy Paquette.
Jimmy Paquette.
He sent me a video showing how to do his name, and I really do appreciate that. I really do try my best. Couple zeros, Yitzi Kramer, Kindred, Brad Netzel, Luke Reynolds, Anthony Furman, unfortunately had to withdraw after this. He's been having, his ACL has been hanging on by a string for a couple of years now, and he's trained and competed around it and just finally gave in, and wish Anthony a speedy recovery. Martins Lises also was not able to compete. He has nerve damage, some nerve problem in his, he was saying, I think in his shoulder / tricep lat. Those are scary when things aren't firing right. Hopefully that is something that can heal up. He said in his video that, if he's healed up for the next qualifier, which is possibly Santa Monica, then he'll do it. But if not, he'll just skip the Arnold Classic this year, and focus on World's Strongest Man and defending his title. Then we went on to the 1,000-pound yoke walk. Kieliszkowski is the favorite going into this event. He had a little bobble, which slowed him down, so he ended up getting 3rd place with 14.14 seconds. Novikov picked up a couple points, winning the event with 11.69 for 18 points. And Belsac did it in 12.6 for 2nd place. Brian Shaw did an 18.34, which gave him 11 points. He looks slow. I'm going to get to that a little later. Then we went on to the 375-pound farmer's walk. And in 1st place was Kieliszkowski, just a few tenths of a second, 8.43 compared to Novikov for 2nd place with 8.47. These two are just going at each other almost every weekend, and it's fun to watch. This is the fun rivalry in Strongman. These 2 young competitors are definitely the future of the sport. And right behind them was JF Caron with 9.81. And Jerry Pritchett with 9.94. Again, Brian Shaw just struggling in the event, getting 13.6. So that's the thing in Strongman. It's like he's just a couple seconds off, but when there's 18 competitors and they're all such a high level, a couple seconds off is the difference between being mid-pack and being first. And right now, pretty much every event performance for Shaw is mid-pack, which is not what we're used to from the 4-time World's Strongest Man. And I guess I should just go into it now, because I got comments on the preview video about it, and that this show's too light for Brian Shaw, so he won't perform well. The thing is, Brian Shaw used to win moving events. I think he's a little slower than he used to be. He doesn't look much faster since he dropped 20-ish pounds. And I think the problem is everyone else has just improved. You know, he's in his late 30s now. He's got a lot going on. He's filming so much content. He used to just compete about 3 times a year, maybe 4, if not 2, and just sit at home in Colorado and train, and that's about all he did. He didn't do too many appearances. He didn't film a TV show. He didn't film content. He didn't have kids. I'm sick right now because of my kid. It makes life a lot harder. Obviously, other people have kids, but I think things are just adding up, and everyone's just catching up, and it just really is in the, so he got that hamstring injury in like 2016, and ever since then he's been doing pretty good, and then now it's just he's doing mid-pack. He got, I think, 8th at the Arnold, 6th at World's Strongest Man, and 7th at this contest. And seeing Brian Shaw he used to be able to go to any Arnold qualifier if he needed to, and pretty much like he'd skip the last event. He was so far ahead, but there's so much more depth at all these, and everyone has improved so much because people like him have set such a high standard that you can't do that, and I just don't really know what's next for him. But it's definitely not too light. That's not the problem with the show. That's a ridiculous statement. Stop saying stuff like that. There's a 1,000-pound yoke, an 800-pound deadlift, a 400-pound log. These are heavy events. I think some of his best performances was like I think he did pretty well in the arm over arm. Actually, no, it's 15. Too. Yeah, he got about 15 and a half. So yeah, that's another, 4th, 5th place event. And that's a speed event, kind of, and it was fairly light. So it's not that it's too light problem. It's that everyone's getting really good, and it's an unfortunate part of sport where I know everyone has his favorites. He just reached a million subscribers on YouTube, which of course is growing the sport tremendously, and I'm happy to see his success in it. And of course, with that brings a lot of fans, and then they're shocked that he's not winning every single contest. But the unfortunate part of sport is people get older, even if they haven't they just lose one step. That's all it takes. Just when you used to get 5 reps, now you get 3. When you used to do it in 12 seconds, now you do it in 15. That's all it takes in sports, and there's all these people that are super hungry, and they're fighting for that. They don't have a million subscribers on YouTube, and they want that fame and money and notoriety, and they put everything into the contest. And that's what it looks like to me. And we went on to the 800-pound deadlift for reps. It was with a very stiff bar, which was reported. JF Karan pulled 7 reps for the event win. A bunch of people got 6, including Jerry Pritchett, Jimmy Paquette, Nedzim Ambazoziak, a very strong deadlifter. So that's the other thing with this contest, which is interesting. There's a couple people that, though not placing super well in every event, are really good at a couple that really got in between on here. The front runners, Novikov got 5 to gain 2 points on Kilishkovsky, but Kilishkovsky pulled 4 reps at 800 with a stiff bar. His deadlift's definitely improving, and at this point, I'm saying he is my pick for World's Strongest Man this next year. I think especially having contests with this many competitors where he can get more points than 10 definitely helps him. Then going on to the arm over arm pull, it was again Kilishkovsky in first with 12.89, Novikov in second with 15.49. So Kilishkovsky did that almost 3 seconds faster. Absolutely incredible performance. Kim Garhart got 18.31. Again, another point stealer. He's, towards at the bottom of the contest, but stealing points for 3rd place in that. fourth, Brian Shaw, and JF Cron in fourth, which ends up Sholokhov winning the event by 1.5 points, it looks like. Third, JF Cron, so 80.5 for Sholokhov, 78 for Novikov. Cron third, 71. And in fourth, Mr. Consistent himself, the most underrated man in Strongman, Kalle Sholokhov, qualifying for the Arnold Classic because the three people above him are all already qualified. He qualified for the Arnold Classic Pro my last year. I think it was my first year competing at the Arnold as an amateur. He was, of course, in the heavyweights and I was in the lightweights. And he terrified me in the hotel room. But not in the hotel room. We didn't share a hotel room. In the lobby, and him and his whole Russian team were just eating all the pastries. It was a pretty lame setup for a continental breakfast, but they ate all of it. And he was super lean. He was a lot leaner then, super jacked, and he was super serious. This is before he smiled all the time. Since meeting him a bunch of times and talking, he's super nice. But I remember walking by and going, whoa, Russia's serious. And he walked away with that one. And pretty much since then, I think he's only missed one Arnold Classic, 5 or 6 years. He's always in the top 5. He does really well at the Arnold, and he's just super consistent. And he's underrated because he never really wins an event. He gets 4th in everything, but he never gets 10th. There's a couple events he's not too great on, but he's a great addition to the Arnold Classic. And congrats to Kalle Sholokhov. And going into the points. So now with this, the last Arnold qualifier that we know of so far, there is one that's to be determined. We're all guessing it's the Arnold Santa Monica in January, but none of this is official. We don't know yet. As soon as I know, I'll let you know. Here are your athletes that are qualified for the Arnold Classic Ohio in 2020. We have Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, last year's winner. Bobby Thompson from the United States. The amateur winner, Rob Kearney, who won Australia. Novikov, who won a couple of them. Sholokhov, who he got runner-up and, of course, won this. JF Cron, who won Warwick in Canada. And Kalle Sholokhov for getting 4th place this weekend at the Arnold, Ohio. As far as the points, pretty much everyone that is still in contention. How it works is you get a maximum of 10 points for, at an Arnold for getting 2nd, I believe. Down to 1 for getting, 9th or 10th. And the current and the wild, whoever, those are how they can pick the wild cards. So if there ends up being 8 qualifiers, they pick the winner or the highest placing person who hasn't qualified at those. Then the 2 wild cards go. 2, not 3, 2. That's usually how it goes. And right now, Matthias Belsack is leading with 32 points. Jerry Pritchett 26th and Ron Honla 23. This event had a couple grip contests, so it wasn't. That's Rano's Achilles heel. Those are pretty much everyone else that has a chance based on the points. Jimmy Paquette is right under there, so he's had a great season. He's definitely someone to watch for in the future. He's gotten so much bigger, so much stronger. They train hard up there in Canada, and great team. So definitely looking forward to how he continues. Overall final results of the Arnold Europe. Matthias Sholokhov first, Novikov second, JF Cron third, Sholokhov fourth, Pritchett fifth, Paquette, sixth, Shaw seventh, Avers in eighth, Belsack ninth, Honla 10, Maxime, Aaron Page, Jitsi Kramer, Nazim, Kim Garhart, Brad Netzel, Luke Reynolds, and of course Anthony Furman injured. Martins Lisis, of course, didn't compete. So let me know your questions in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the contest. Of course, if you want to watch it, there's a live stream on Arnold Schwarzenegger's Facebook page that's still up there, and Martins Lisis has pretty much Romark filmed pretty much the whole contest, and that's it's all edited nice together, and that's 45 minutes long instead of like 3.5 hours long. So that's where I'd watch it. I'm Kalle Beck. Also, I just surpassed 9,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. If you get me to 1,000, maybe I can buy a light so my room isn't so dark. My office isn't so dark. It's odd. I actually used to have good lighting in here, and I just got a tinted front window, which now makes it quieter, but now it's dark when I film. I need to wait like 1 more hour till the sun's right there. Anyways, I can buy a backlight if more of you people subscribe, so please do that. And thanks for watching.